Okay, let us enter the garden, man. We're entering the garden. You will not be able to return once into the garden. Do you wish to proceed? Hell yeah, bro. Let's go into the garden. Trade Noir. Okay, I guess I don't know that.
Well,
Dungeon
this is it, I
Siege.
guess.
Entered every dungeon across
It's
all
very different
regions.
from the last time I left Gallowayne's tusks. I will say, it's nice to look out and see Solace still standing.
It is still standing.
Thanks for that.
Costa had no right to make that decision for everyone. We are becoming quite the local heroes that had to be done. Yeah, Costa had no right to make that decision for everyone.
Right. It's better that an Aedyr and envoy do it. Solace is still standing. And so are you.
Where did you come from?
We're in this together. Just so you know, Kai, it's starting to sound like you like me.
If you happen to need a reminder,
They're all
let us
here.
know. Brooding in silence can be quite the mood killer.
Not to spoil the moment with good news, but I doubt the rest of the island has been quiet while we've been looking for the garden. Things have only gotten more tense since Fjord, and the Steel Garrote probably hasn't been doing us any favors on that front.
Especially when they're led by a woman who doesn't seem interested in staying dead. Not to mention, after we take care of the Envoy's little god problem, we'll still have an empire bearing down on us.
The island can sort itself out. I'm hoping to be far away by then. Maybe curing the dream scourge will cure the island's insanity. The living lands could be at war by the time we leave the garden. Don't remind me to sign up for this. The island can sort itself out. I'm hoping to be very far away by then. Maybe curing the dream scourge will cure the island's insanity. The living lands could be at war by the time we leave the garden.
Sweet of you to think the fighting will wait that long.
Can't say I'm too excited about just walking into the garden. I grew up learning I needed to protect that place, but it never felt like more than a children's tale to me.
I hear you. This island is weird enough when all we have to worry about are vengeful plans and soul-altering corruption.
Am I the only one who's looking forward to the garden? We're pioneers, stepping into the great unknown, a land of mystery.
We have to remember to love them in spite of their lack of proper enthusiasm, dearie.
They have a right to be worried about certain deaths. Good point. We'll be the first to enter the garden in ages. You aren't frightened. Good point. We'll be the first to enter the garden in ages. Yeah.
Can you imagine? An untouched spiritual wilderness just waiting for us. I have a theory about the garden, or a warning, depending on how you want to look at it. Sapadal has been imprisoned a long time. The garden will be a reflection of their dreams, their nightmares, their madness.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw visions or hallucinations, and not even the fun kind.
You're saying there's a chance we all become raving lunatics. At least we get to meet Sabadal in person. You're making this up. Pinch the bridge of your nose. That's great. Thank you, Yatsli. You're saying there's a chance we'll all become raving lunatics.
Sanity won't get us through the garden. Madness opens the mind to discovery. So madness is what we need right now. Before we go any further, I have to ask you something. You told the Inquisitor that you intend to free Sapadal. Set them loose upon the world. Is that still the plan?
Sabadal deserves their freedom. Honestly, I'm struggling with that question. That's the plan until I change my mind. Unless anyone has a better idea. They deserve their freedom.
Everyone deserves freedom.
I could make an exception for a god with the power to destroy us all in a tantrum.
Sapadal is responsible for the spiritual health of the living lands, and the island has suffered for it. No matter what the Inquisitor said, I don't believe there's a right or wrong choice to make here. Just the one you believe in.
Any more words of wisdom? There has to be a right or wrong. Otherwise, what are we doing? That doesn't make the choice any easier. Any more words of wisdom?
Just one.
No.
Remember, we're stepping into a realm that is both physical and spiritual in nature. If you can call it nature. There's no telling how long we'll be gone. For all we know, time could run backwards in the garden.
Does anyone feel like turning back? This may take a while.
Not a chance. We're a crew now, so you're stuck with me until the end. Marius?
I told you I'd be with you till the end. I don't go back on my promises. What about you, Giada?
You're not going into the garden without me. I have to see this with my own eyes. Yatsli, if you feel like running back to Quilici, now would be the time. No one would think less of you.
And tell Quilici that I missed out on the most exciting part.
Alright then, we're in this together. Thank you everyone, I don't say that enough. I put you from the corner of your eye. Thank you everyone, I don't say that enough.
And you don't have to. We pull together, and that's plenty.
I plan on wandering the garden whether I'm traveling with you or not. I have have to find out what the big deal is.
Agreed. I'm not waiting in camp while the rest of you have all the fun. Hope to see you out there, Marius.
Well, let's go then. We can't keep your god waiting.
Are they all gonna come? No, we are in camp. One final camp, Giada.
So, this is it. The spiritual epicenter of the living lands. Where it all began, and where it all ends. For so long I have looked out on a horizon full of possibilities. Now that it's here, I'm too scared to breathe. Oh, why am I so anxious?
You were feeling lost after Emerald Stair, and this place gives you hope because we're about to do something incredible. Maybe this is a turning point in your career. You tell me. We are about to do something incredible.
I suppose you're right. I'm frightened, I'm excited. I'm a lot of things right now. Do you remember when Manto Pastor sent you after the heart of an Adragan?
Yeah. Of course, to power is invention. You're welcome for that, by the way. Ugh, please don't tell me we need to collect another heart. Of course, the power is invention.
That was nothing compared to this. We are standing in the beating heart of the living lands. Just imagine what we can do with it.
You don't have much time to decide. I was worried you'd given up on your ambition. That sort of thinking got your parents killed. Why must we do anything? Cut it out, I say, let it bleed. I was worried you'd given up on your ambition.
I almost turned my back on animancy. And if I'm being honest, it was a relief. But now that we're here, who am I to reject my upbringing, my potential? My parents were going to build a better world for animancers. That dream was their legacy to me. You and I have come farther than they did, to an impossible place where anything can happen. Anything.
You get to decide what you do with your life. That past has no say in the matter. A family legacy is a heavy burden, but you're more than worthy of it. I'll just say, whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Of course you are. I don't know what's going to happen, but you've had my back since the beginning. I won't forget it.
Thank you. Do you know any stories about the guard?
Well, that depends. I know a few spooky stories about the living lands. They may or may not have anything to do with the garden.
I want a spooky story. No thanks, I'm easily frightened. No.
Okay. But if something goes bump in the night, I'm waking you up.
Let me think of a good one. There are so many, I can't decide. Which do you want to hear first?
Multiple?
I know one about a ranger's dream,
Ranger's
one
dream.
about a haunted well,
Haunted well.
and one about a golden city.
Let's hear the one about the Ranger's dream with the haunted well, Golden City. 1 second. Okay, so we crashed again. No big surprise there. We're speaking to Giada.
For so
I'm so anxious. Something incredible. Power is invention. That's why you
I
give up
almost
on
turned my back,
ambition.
but you any
Whatever you need, I'm here for you. Do you know any stories? I want a spooky story. Okay, we have 3. Which one do you want to hear first? I know one about a ranger's dream, one about a haunted well and a golden city. Tell me one about the ranger's dream.
One sunny day, a ranger took a nap in the woods of Emerald Stair. He awoke to a forest of dead trees, the night sky full of unfamiliar stars. After getting his bearings, he walked in the direction of Fior Messiverno, but the settlement was gone.
Time travel?
In its place was the most beautiful garden, hills bursting with flowers, the grass as soft as Valian silk. Enchanted by this vision, he bent to pick a rose, but its thorn cut like a knife, severing 3 fingers. Then a voice filled his head, shouting, "Go now, before the land takes you, body and soul." He awoke in his own bed, a wilted rose clutched in his 2-fingered hand.
Good one, Giada. She sounds like the ramblings of a deranged woodsman. Good one, Giada.
It's nonsense, of course, but that's why I like it.
Can I hear another story?
Of course. Which one did you have in mind?
Tell me the haunted well.
Once upon a time, a young girl left town to fetch water from the local well. After pulling up the rope, she discovered the head of a Delimgan, one of the tree folk, staring at her from the bucket. "Return me to my grove," it said, "and I will grant you 3 wishes." So she carried the head into a peaceful clearing and sat it down on a tree stump. First, she wished for long life. The head granted her wish. Second, she wished to be impervious to a sword blade. Granted. And finally, she wished to know what happens after we die. No one ever saw her again. All they found was an Aedyr pillar in the middle of a clearing, next to an old stump.
Great. Spooky. I like that one.
I heard it as a child. Took me years before I would fetch water again.
Can I hear another story?
Of course. Which one did you have in mind?
Tell me the Golden City.
Many years ago, when Fior Messiverno was barely a dot on the map, an animancer got lost in the wilderness. He came upon a pair of ancient trees, their trunks and branches intertwined. A strange light shone in the space between the trees, and beyond that light, a city of gold. So the animancer returned with an axe to chop the trees apart and fit his body through the narrow gap. But with every blow of his axe, the towers of the Golden City fell. The walls crumbled, the lights flickered out. By the time he made it through, there was nothing left. Only the bones of a once mighty civilization. As for the two trees, they were dead, hacked to splinters, leaving him no path back the way he came.
That's the end. I want to know what happens next. If that's true, how does anyone even know the story? You know, these stories have a consistent theme.
Very perceptive. What do you think it is? I have my own opinion, but I'm curious about yours.
Mortals should not reach for immortal power because of nature's. Beware of nature, for it punishes the careless. Don't pursue what you don't understand. Yeah.
Good advice. Well, not for me, but good for others. These stories might not shine any light on the garden, but they could inform the way we think about it. First, the garden is beyond all mortal understanding. If you think you're safe here, you're not. And second, when you walk into the unknown, make sure to bring a friend.
Or 4. Good thing we have each other. So avoid the unknown, but go into it prepared. Isn't that a contradiction? Words of wisdom. Good thing we have each other.
Indeed. I couldn't have made it this far on my own. Hey, you're a good listener. Not everyone has the patience to hold their questions to the end. Alas, that is all I can tell you about the garden. For now, at least.
Alright. Can I hear another scary story?
Certainly.
Hmm.
You've heard them all, but I don't mind repeating myself.
Alright. That's enough for now.
Thanks for listening.
Ask about you.
For you, anything.
Garden.
Anything in particular?
That's enough.
Who could rest at a time like this?
All of us,
Does anyone
hopefully.
want to share a scary story?
Scary stories?
No. Gods no.
Why not? We've got everything we need. The crackling campfire, the foreboding ambiance.
I actually need to get some rest tonight. I'd rather not spend the whole night screaming in my sleep.
Well, I liked Giada's story.
Thank you, Yardsley. I suppose I owe the rest of you an apology. I didn't mean to frighten anyone.
Your stories are very good. They're just feeling a little too close to reality right now.
We are in the
I'll
garden.
try and think of something more pleasant then. Like a mouse and a rabbit going on pathetic little adventures.
That is a pathetic story. Anything else, Yada?
Let me guess. Bad dreams?
No, that's enough.
If I must.
Yeah, actually.
I'm starting to suspect that every single leader in the Living Lands is incompetent. Truly. Is there no vetting process? Hopefully those in Solace Keep will choose their leaders with more care in the future. But we should check on Marius. I'll make him some soothing perfume, but I think a few words from you would help too.
I've already spoken with him.
Lovely. Another point in your favor, Envoy. I do not envy the Pargrunen in any case. Meeting that council gave me a new appreciation for Vidaro.
Do you think Fior could devolve like Solace Keep did?
There's always always a way for things to get worse, dearie. I wouldn't be surprised. We're losing focus on the important things. Things like the garden. Oh, come on, Envoy, let's get going. How can I help, darling?
What don't tell me?
Careful what... So, they arrived on the shore.
Yeah.
My guess...
But
Rather, help you. How?
alright.
Don't let the bed bugs bite, dearie.
Hey guy.
When you find Sapadal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place.
I didn't realize you had such eclectic tastes. Using the creeps, there is something beautiful amidst this chaos. I didn't realize there's something beautiful.
And you've got to enjoy it where you can find it.
Yeah.
Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse.
Captivity is a risky proposition. Kith or beast, it makes its victims docile or desperate.
And Sapadal definitely isn't docile. Not from what we saw on Mount Forja, or outside the ruins of Nakukubel.
Sabadal and I talk about compassion and forgiveness. I believe they can change for the better. Who would be? They have been imprisoned here for centuries at least. They were volatile before their imprisonment. Since then, they've unleashed the dream skirt. Sabadal is complicated. We talk about compassion and forgiveness. I believe they can change for the better.
I've heard that one before. Usually before a lot of tears, a lot of drinks, and a lot of I should have known better. Still, you taught me that a person can grow beyond their flaws. Why wouldn't the same be true of a god? I hope you're right, because we are all in trouble if you're wrong.
Knowing you, I'm surprised you're not in favor of giving Sapadal a second chance. I'm right, I'm sure of it. I know. Not helpful guy. Yeah.
You know, if Sapadal were only a smuggler, assassin, or bandit, I'd be right there with you. But knowing they could end us all with a temper tantrum puts things in perspective. I guess we've all got our limits. And I don't envy you having to deal with the loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have when we escape this place.
Alright, what do you mean dealing with Sapadal won't diffuse the political tensions? After this, I'm disappearing to a remote cabin for a year and no one is stopping me. Dealing with Sapadal won't diffuse the political tensions in the living lands.
Lucky
Yeah.
thing your emperor sent his best representative as his envoy, right? You'll have your work cut out for you.
Enough, I don't have time to reflect on every conflict in the living lands. I was sent to deal with the dream scourge on politics, yeah. The steel garrote is behind the worst of it. They don't represent Aedyr or me.
A lot of people aren't going to make that distinction. Especially when your ambassador Heelguard hosted Ludwine in Paradise for as long as her assistance was convenient. You may have averted the attack on Fjord, but this is one situation where it's the thought that counts. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise animancy. Not when Heelguard banned the practice in Paradise.
I see your point, and that was indefensible. Come on, Hilka, nothing to do with steel garrote's plans for Fjord. Yeah.
Even if you believe that, no one else will. And that's not all. Ringram may have unleashed some powerful magic against the Dream Scourge, but she left a lot of corpses in her wake. That doesn't look good for your people. Not when Ludwine was also in the region, and your people had a garrison at Eagle's Reach.
Yeah, that doesn't look good, all of it. Come on, that's coincidence enough. I don't have to reflect. It doesn't look good at all.
And then there's Solace. You might have saved the keep, but no one's going to talk about the disaster that didn't happen. They're going to talk about why Mount Forja erupted after all this time.
That is technically indirectly the steel garrote's fault. It's a volcano. Aedyr can't possibly be blamed. That is technically indirectly the steel garrote's fault.
I don't think anyone else is going to understand the indirectly. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's going to be laid at Aedyr's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Heelguard's been helping matters while you've been out here.
So tensions are high and everyone out here is well armed. What about it? Hail him out of this. What about it?
If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy.
Aedyr is my home. You can't expect me to turn my back on my people. I was sent to stop a plague, not prosecute a war. The people of the living lands deserve freedom. I won't help anyone subjugate them. Yeah.
I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. I lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. but I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face.
Yeah.
Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this.
Alright. Thanks, guy.
Anytime.
Something else.
What's on your mind?
How do I prepare for what's ahead?
I barely plan further than the next meal, and you're asking me?
Maybe that's the kind of advice I need.
I don't know, Envoy. I just try to take each day and each battle as it comes. And you can see where that's gotten me. But I think it's possible to be too prepared.
You've got to be ready to read your environment and adapt to it. You're saying I should follow my gut. Only people who never prepare say that. You've got to be ready to read your environment and adapt to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Adaptability.
But you know what all of us think by now. Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide what to do with Sapado and where your loyalties lie. My advice? Get a good night's rest. And when the moment comes, follow your instincts.
That helps. Thanks.
Don't forget that every soul in the living lands hangs in the balance. But look at it this way. Whatever you choose, you'll end the Dream Scourge, and you'll give the living lands a future. And I'd wager that's better than where we are now.
Questions about you.
Good thing you're asking the expert.
About the garden.
I'm not sure I'll be much help, but I'll try.
Okay, that's all.
Rest while you can. We're almost at the end of this.
We are. Marius.
Envoy, what do you need?
Thoughts on our
That's
companion.
The only... I don't know. She's not so bad. She keeps saying things, but other than that...
Alright.
Until next time.
Think we are done. You guys want to talk about something? I mean, there's another whole level of legendary upgrades, so I don't think we are done. We can't be, right?
You restless too? It's hard to tell how much time is passing. Night, Envoy.
You?
I'll take the first watch. Any excuse to look around. You too.
The same every time then?
I could use a distraction. Even our camp gives me the creeps. Pleasant dreams.
Anything else?
It feels like we're in another world.
Not the world.
One that isn't used to our kind.
Probably is not.
Thanks for talking. I don't plan on getting much sleep. Might as well stay up and talk.
Alright.
Until next time.
You have more?
It feels like...
Yep, that's always repeated.
Not before I've done some reading.
Naturally,
There's my favorite Aedyr.
you have nothing for me, right?
Don't mind if I do. There's my favorite. Always a pleasure.
Hi.
I've heard of strange colors in the sky and weeks of twilight in the white that wins. Wonder if it's anything like this. I'll be here if you need me. You restless too?
That's a repeat.
Try to get some rest.
Marius,
Envoy, what do you need?
he's got nothing for me. Okay.
You too.
We'll wait a minute or so. Just to see if these guys want to talk about something. I doubt it though, because we've finished all the conversations. More or less. I don't see anything happening. I don't hear anything happening, I should say. So I think we are good. Just leave. Alright. Marius and Yatsli, I'm sorry, but... Or maybe I should take Kai and Yatsli. Kai and Yatsli. Let's get Kai out here. Although it was heard Giata's dream to study this place. Oh yeah, it's a different area. It's a big ass area too. Okay, so we're not like done. Unspent ability point. I have a point too, okay. Just for going in here, huh? Can upgrade our bear ally. Rose when summoned, taunting enemies and increasing the damage it deals, increase duration by 15 seconds. Parry, I mean, I don't have a shield anymore, so I can't really parry. Could go for like, so we lost this, we got this. There's still one passive. We have one companion ability, 1 point for each person. Second wind passive, increase amount of health restored by second wind to 75% of Kai's maximum health. Or when Kai's health reduces to 0, he revives himself by restoring 50% of maximum health. I like that. Then you get the amount of health restored by 75%, 75%. Kai gets temporary burst of attack speed. All of Kai abilities cooldown are deactivated. Marius, Heartseeker. Fires a piercing shot that always hits its mark, passing through any obstacles in its path. Like it. Then Giatta. Giatta increases move speed and attack speed of all allies. Shield. Give acceleration. And Yatsuli, Minadola's missile battery. Blowing enemies. Give me Minadola's missile battery. Sounds cool as hell. Wizard, 3 magic projectiles, increase essence penalty, power attacks with wands, damage with wands. Essence ability may continue casting by using health. Essence fragments drop by defeated enemies, give more essence. Increase amount of frost, fire, shock, poison. And these are all spells. I don't really want spells. But the thing is, I don't want Flick Flurry of Blows. Maximum attack speed, rapid stamina regeneration, increased move speed. Critical hit chance, I don't really care about. Arrow deflection when blocking. I don't really do that sort of stuff though. Food restores 20% more health and essence, and bonus effect durations are increased. I think Fighter probably has something good for me. Decreases stamina penalty for armor. Attacking while holding block slams your shield. Taking damage will regenerate 50% of health. Increase your max HP. Power attacks with axes and great swords. Unarmed attacks, okay. Critical hits with melee weapons. Increase damage with two-handed melee weapons. Decrease stamina cost while blocking. Power attacks with maces and stuff. Access corridor regen. Yeah, I got that already. Perfect time blocked will reflect stuff. Taking damage from enemy or next attack is 50%. Okay, yeah. Killing enemy restores 10% of your companion's maximum health. Just give me toughness. Just some toughness will do. Okay, it's a skull. Wait, what the hell? We did not get the blade that hungers? Bro. I thought we did everything, but apparently not. Records of Old Solace.
Looks like we'll have to find another way through.
Or not.
Or
Or not. I mean, there's animals here. The blood right toadstool.
Nice of someone to mark that spot for us.
I think we've found Sapadal's home.
Diamond and glasswood branch. Well, it is sick, and yeah, it makes sense the godless were here. Hey, Kai, do something for me, will ya?
Stand back.
You are the fire starter. They seem to have gems here. Aedyr Bane. Aedyr Ban. I guess there is no more like Aedyr levels, right? Another magic shield. I think Gatsley can deal with that. Probably. Hopefully. Letter from Tain. Dear Lengrath, I made it to the garden somehow. The last thing I remember is getting lost, stumbling through the woods, past a volcano, and now here I am. Then again, maybe it was all a dream. Maybe this is a dream too. What else is new? The plants are a nice touch, but a bit too humanoid. They'd fit right in at the halls obscured. A little greenery to brighten up the enclosures. Anyway, I believe this marks the end of my sightseeing tour of the living lands. Not a moment too soon. I missed the comforts of home. Now, how do I leave? Oh, well, I'll figure something out. I always do. Wink. Your friend, Tayan the Archmage, author of Train's Chaotic Orb. P.S. I'm leaving this here for you or a future version of you to find someday. Take care. See you at the next meeting of the circle. I'll save you a seat next to me at the big table. Okay. Don't even try it, buddy. Alright.
Who's ready for more?
Apparently she knows Tin or Tian, the author of Tian's Chaotic Orb. Two chunk, health potion. Dream Thrall, Elder Black Bear. Get poisoned and bleed. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You're done, bear. Knocking him off. Okay, a Fang Claw. Essence Potion. Okay, enough of these upgrade materials. I should be able to upgrade my gun to the maximum level. Guy,
Hey,
do the honors. Beautiful chest, no traps. Sapphires. Who's gonna buy this stuff from me? They're in like a... Ooh.
I think this is the only way down. After you.
Nope. I ain't going down there yet. Topaz Living Steel Chunk. Make folk Orenson, too. Life is a prayer. Of the enlisted ones we made a holy slaughter. The young we smothered with our hands. The Make folk wrote this? Encrusted ones. Of the oldest we made fires, we rendered them down into fuel to clear the encrusted growth. From some we removed the hands, from others the feet, from others the features, all of which we gathered in heaps which grew the encrusted wildlife to feed. Into these heaps we set poison. Of their severed heads we made pyramids, 10 heads to a side, and the count of heads in each pyramid was 385. Of these pyramids there were counted 7,707. What the hell? We spared those who could run with vigor, so that they would lead us to other dwellings of the encrusted. We made it known that mercy could be purchased by tribute, so that the encrusted would gather together their livestock, their wine, and wealth to present to us. The first 10 of these tributes we accepted and gave mercy, and then after the 11th tribute we began to kill all those assembled. In this way we made them gather themselves to be taken census and killed. In this way we approached God through prayer. Oh, that's just messed up, man. There was another tablet. I saw it. I didn't take it though. Saw it while I was fighting or something. Stone square on the ground. It was here somewhere. Ah, there it is. Mac 4 Corinth 1. Life is a prayer. God function defines the good prayer and we pray it with our hearty holy genocide. Now says God function destroy the encrusted ones, puncture the cyst of their secessionist Aedyr, smother their children, for they are without soul, slaughter their livestock, for they are without soul, turn them out from their dwellings and make a census of them to pray to God function so that God will know the extirpation of the encrusted ones is complete. Of them Abaddon says nothing can be made of that which is hoarded, so punish the hoarder. Of them Berat says, they are not upon the wheel, so they do not live nor die, they are as inert as stone. Of them Eothas says, there is no hope for them, as they are enthralled by the hopeless, so deliver hope unto them. Of them Galavin says, hunt them down to every last child as the predator hunts even unto the prey nest. Of them Helios says, among them neither chick nor child is born with a soul, so there is no birth among them, go make a bloody birth of them. Of them Margaret says, make war on them. Of them all Ondra says, strike away all memory as the tide strikes the shape from the sand. Of them Ringgrim howls. Of them Skane says, make an effigy of them, disfigure them until their effectsment is complete. Of them Vale says, all the strangeness of the alien among them shall be mine. There is no stranger thing in the world, and I shall have it of for my own. Of them Boudica says, make an oath of their utter annihilation. This is God function, which is the topmost caramel of our mind. These things were created by the gods and sent here. Gods are real assholes, huh? Well, cannonball indeed. Weird jellyfish-like plants. Eye of Rigamond. Enclosed Grove Camp. Okay, definitely gonna go over there. Give me some ice. That's the one. Dragon High, do this please. Yo. The Godless Shrine. Wild Walker Armor. Neutral Catalyst. Receiving an elemental status applies a status to all nearby targets. Wild Strike. 20% fire, frost, and shock accumulation. Legends abound of a powerful druid and watcher known only as the Wild Walker. She is said to have possessed a singular mastery of the art of spirit shifting, able to assume not just one beastly form but many. According to legend, she one day found herself wandering the strange, impossible landscape of the beyond. How long the Wild Walker roamed this dreamlike plane is unknown, but upon her return she was forever changed. Their spirit shifts were thereafter suffused with a maelstrom of elemental power, though though had warped, monstrous appearances. This armor still holds a measure of the elemental might that the Wild Walker could call upon, empowering the wearer's own attacks and punishing enemies that turn the elements against them. I like my Graham Amberson of the Great Empire. What have we up here? The seed of an electric lily. Blood rights toadstool. But surely there's stuff down here I need to find as well. And loot. Huh. Don't exactly know how we get to that. Okay. A lot of Delegman over there. Charm of Bones. Summon a trio of skeletons to fight with you. Ancient brittle bones. Since it is comprised of various small bones affixed to a cord of sinew, this macabre necklace stinks of the grave. The noise created by the bones clicking together sounds like a gruesome chime, causing your hair to stand on end. This particular charm was lovingly crafted by a self-serving, hedonistic death godlike chanter who used his powers of beckoning the dead to unusual ends. As a master musician, he never found other living players to be at his level of skill, so instead taught his undead minions how to play just like he did. Thus did he become the ringleader of his own vile marching band. And now we have his whatever the hell.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I going mad?
Pulling back the veil. The garden is reaching out, showing your companion something important about themselves. Talk to them, help them through it. She's seeing more like her parents. Diamond and Glasswood Branch. Unusual book. This book is penned with dark tree sap instead of ink, every stroke done with a slow and meticulous hand. Most of the pages contain sketches of the garden, unfamiliar animals, and even music in some ancient notation. Only the final page contains legible writing. Forgive us. This is indeed her parents, or a representation of such. Yata?
What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing.
If the air real, I'm just as confused as you are. It's your family's lab all over again. I'm seeing plants, a lot of them looking at us. What do you see? It's real.
I was afraid of that. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go?
I think the garden is misleading us, playing with our senses. You don't think these things moved here themselves, do you? I don't know. The garden is misleading us, playing with our
Wanna
senses.
know what I think? I think someone's laughing at me. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward.
Godlike of Sapadal,
Green Whisperer.
long have we awaited you.
Oh,
Finally, you've come home.
It's not just me, right? The plants are talking.
they are talking.
Oh my gods. They're alive.
Talk to them, Giada. I know that's impossible. You hear them too. Wave to the plant greetings. Talk to them, Giada.
How? Where would I even begin?
Giada Castel, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
You're saying Sapadal was responsible for the lab accident? Yeah.
No, this can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapodal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Great.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity. So we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapodal destroyed my family.
You think they're in the truth? What are these things? I'm sorry, Jed, I had no idea. Yeah.
I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapodal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat. That isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being.
You think they're in the truth? Yeah, what are these things?
We are companions.
Huh.
Toys. Diversions. Sapodal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual. Organic, much like the garden itself. Sapodal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends. Drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine.
You think they're telling the truth?
I know they are.
They are telling the
My
truth,
mother
yeah.
and father would not have wanted this. A good animancer embraces death. And they were the best. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Not to be pedantic, but that was 4 questions.
We want to apologize on Sapodal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness.
They deserve forgiveness. What happened to your parents was a mistake. You owe them nothing. Sabata's madness cost your parents their lives. And now you have the answer. Maybe it's time to move on. I trust you to make the decision yourself. Yeah, make the decision yourself.
Shit. This is going to hurt. Sapodal has been trapped here for millennia. Alone. Confused. Screaming into the void for anyone who will listen. When they heard the voice of a stranger, they overreacted. How can I hold that against you? Apology accepted.
Thank you, Giada. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way.
The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to.
I'm ready. Should I expect to find more of these apparitions in the garden?
A garden is whatever you plant in it.
Sapodal wishes to be understood, as all mortals do. Seen, as all mortals are. What you see is the truth, glimpsed through their eyes, and they wish to share it.
What will happen to you?
Now that you have returned to the garden, Sapodal has everything they need. We will fade, as all things fade.
I'm sorry. You were made to be posed like dolls and cast aside. It's cruel. But I'm sorry.
Don't be. Nurtured or neglected, every garden dies in time. We will return to the soil from which we emerged. In time, you will do the same.
Probably. Rest well.
Our purpose draws to a close. A long rest is assured. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
This feels like one of those times when getting answers doesn't mean getting closure.
She will not talk. How the hell do you have a cup? She is playing literally tea. Was she holding freaking tea parties, bro? Traverse the dangers, find their self. What the hell is this? Find them, they await. The heart of the living land. There's a door here. Aha. It opens from the other side, I see. Oh, that's the way they want us to go. Let's set up a party camp inside over here. Maybe we can get some upgrades done. Yeah, bro, Heaven Strike. But not Honor as a Offense, we don't have the Living Steel junk. 22 more damage, 45 and then 68 more damage. 22 more damage is good. There you go. And then a Gambit of the Great Empire. 6 more damage reduction. Sure. There you go. Then we can dump that in there. The rest of it stays with me, I'm afraid. Wanna talk, Marius?
Envoy, what do you need?
Nothing?
Thanks for talking.
Says you wanna talk.
Envoy, what do you... If I must.
You wanna talk, definitely.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake.
Not a mistake now.
And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sapodal's.
You were generous to forgive them. Does knowing that help? I don't see the difference. You were generous to forgive them.
Generous? Perhaps. Until I knew the whole story, there was never anyone to blame. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light.
They were successful.
Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong.
Now you're unburdened and free. Sounds like you admire them. Don't sell yourself short. You can still do incredible things. The burden was never yours to carry. Sounds like you admire them.
As an animancer, I do admire them. I really do. As their daughter, it's complicated. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful.
Could you still use animancy to help the living lands? I wonder if Sapadal would be willing to assist you. Creepy is putting it lightly. Yeah, I wonder if Sapadal would be willing to assist you.
They probably won't even notice me. But stranger things have happened. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more. But that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think?
Great. Would you consider going back to Fear Mr. You owe it to yourself to continue your research and grow as an animancer. Leave the past behind. You don't need animancy to find meaning in life. You owe it to yourself to consider continue your research and grow as an animancer.
I have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it.
Mother and father would be proud. Whatever you do, I'm sure it will be ambitious and unexpected. Try to avoid any dangerous experiments. Your mother and father would be proud.
I know they would be. And not just because some ancient plans told me so. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giada Castel, so I'd better make it count.
Yeah.
You helped me through a very difficult time. I just wanted to say thank you.
We got her
Just
closure.
proud. And maybe a bit worried.
That's why you're here, aren't you, Yatsuki?
Envoy, pinch me. I must be dreaming. I've long imagined what the garden could look like, but... even all the depictions I've seen in all the ruins, it didn't do it justice. And that's not even counting all the little surprises we've gotten.
Surprises?
And you! You're on the way to meet your god. Years of being an unclaimed godlike. And now, it feels like a typhoon of information has hit us. I've yet to catch my breath. There are even floating sky islands. How are you staying so calm?
If you think about it too hard, my brain will explode. You think I'm calm trying to get through this? If I think about it too hard, my brain will explode.
You could be a bit more excited. I just want to focus on memorizing everything I can. The architecture is obviously in pristine condition, let alone... Just be sure to remember everything we see. I'll want to pick your brain later.
I could try to draw you a map, not sure how helpful it will be. Maybe you'll calm down about all the godless stuff now. Glad to see the guard is living up to your expectations. I know you're excited, but we are on a tight schedule. I could try to draw you a map, not sure how helpful it will be.
True. With everything shifting, it may not be accurate long. Still, what an artifact. A map of the garden by the last Tibaru Sanakis. This place is... it's more than I could have ever dreamed. I know we have to find your god and figure out what to do with them, but... oh, I almost feel like I could stay here forever.
Good stay if you want. What about Quilichi? Where would you get your perfume supplies though? What about Quilichi?
Well, perhaps Quilichi and I could move in here. Surely, he'd see the possibilities. Still, I just... oh, it's breathtaking here.
It is
And
cool.
think how much I could learn here. Pockets of time in the lives of the Akita are here, and... oh, but we've not even gotten to the end yet. We haven't seen everything. Let's get moving. We really must stop meeting like this. People will talk.
Okay, great. That was a long conversation. Anything else?
We really must.
Okay, you're done.
Tired already, Uncle. Well, I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, great. Kai.
If we make it out of this place, we'll have stories to tell. Wonder if anyone will believe them.
How do I prepare?
I barely...
Yes.
I don't know, Envoy. And you... but I
think I should follow my gut.
That's a better way of putting it. You know what all of us... oh,
It sounds so easy.
probably be... but look at it this way. And
It's alright. That's all. Good night, Kai. Okay.
I'll be here if you need me.
Do you have nothing to say?
What do
Hold on, companion.
That's the only one. I don't know. She's not so bad. She keeps saying things, but other than that, we can get along.
Okay.
Pleasant dreams.
Well, you guys have nothing to say, even though there's an exclamation on your head. Let's end it here. Anybody got anything to say?
Hey, Giada.
No?
How are you holding up after seeing those plant people?
Well, I've seen things not intended for mortal eyes, and uncovered the dark truth of my family's downfall. But here I am. And how are you?
Don't worry about me.
Yo, it's
I
spinning.
just want to know how you're feeling.
I'm complicated. But at least I know what happened to my parents.
Knowing's one thing. Feeling okay about it's another.
Yes, that part could take a while.
As long as it doesn't turn into a ghost story. I'm here if you need to talk.
I'm talking right now.
It won't be easy, but you have to let yourself feel it. All of it. Even the parts that hurt like a blessed saltfly bite.
Just be kind to yourself, dearie.
I don't know what to say, except I'm grateful to know each of you.
Yeah, she's dealing with her problems. That's good. Do you guys have anything more you want to say? Are we nearly done? Because that was the one thing that did
So
happen.
those
No.
green people in the garden, those weren't your parents?
Nope.
No, they were Sapadal's dreams given life. Ancient sentinels bound by loyalty.
And they were plants because...
Because that's all Sapadal knew how to make. A smithy smiths, a baker bakes, a gardener
Gardens.
gardens.
Yep.
Right, I understand.
It's all right if you don't.
Good, because I really don't.
Doesn't. Alright, that makes sense. So he was just basically making something to pass the time. He made, I mean, he was a god, so she was a god. I don't know. They were a god. They made like semi-sentient plant creatures. I mean, you know, as you do. Okay, if you have anything else to say, say it now, or I'm leaving. I mean, I'll be back here probably with more stuff. I think they are done because they would have started talking by now. Okay, what do I think did here? I think these two are the ones we want. In terms of combat, I do like your healing ability. Those you're dreaming.
Breath held. Trepidation. You are close,
You are
yet
close.
distant still.
Distant still. I had to rest. This place is exhausting in a way I can't describe. I am grateful for the pause in battle. I didn't expect this much resistance. I'm close to meet enough to meet him. I don't have to wait till I'm awake. I am grateful for the pause in battle. I didn't expect this much resistance.
Bars were not enough. They writhe. They seek to silence us. Only essence sustains them now. Hatred seated in the heart. We wonder.
Wonder. You know what I wonder? Actually, separate I've got a question for you. Can I ever get a word in edgewise? Actually, Sapatal, I've got a question for you.
We did not foresee this.
No. The price is you owe me answers. I indulge your curiosity. You can indulge mine. Yeah.
An equal trade. We accept.
Alright, we get a question. What would you do if you weren't imprisoned? What would you do if you weren't a god? What would bring you peace, happiness? What do you really want? Huh. These are some good questions. What would bring you peace, happiness? That's kind of our goal, right? What do you really want? To be free. What would bring you peace? What would you do if you weren't imprisoned?
Sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine.
Take your time. If you can't imagine it, why do you want it so badly? Take your time.
We would run,
But run.
roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands.
What about the people who live on those hills? Could you live in harmony again? And what would you do if people wronged you? What about the people who live on those hills?
Disturb the dirt, but spare the blooms. Shake the roots slowly. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be.
What do you mean vengeance denied? What was that? Are you alright? There's something in the garden, must be getting into it. Sound very peaceful. Are you alright?
We feel nothing amiss.
No, you definitely said something just now.
We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
He wants vengeance on the people? Can't be doing that shit, lady. Alright. Hey, bud.
I see the disciple has found his way into the cell.
I am in the cell.
No. Clarion Steel. We know this voice. Why is she here?
You in the garden? You must be dedicated to follow me all the way here. Now what do you want? How many make folk do I have to destroy to shut you up? Now what do you want?
I was unclear last time. I will not repeat my mistake.
Out. Out. Her voice our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with?
All I know is Sapadal needs help. Why don't you explain that instead of insulting me? I didn't choose to get involved. Don't call Sapadal that. I don't have to understand something to believe it. Why don't you explain then instead of insulting me?
Apparently, I must. The situation is worse than I perceived. Do you think you're special, with your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland.
No, I knew it. You're lying. I don't believe it. That was you. Yeah, I knew it.
You suspected. Then you must have understood why.
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
In time, the gods felt the wretched powers seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained.
You couldn't reach the living land, so your make folk did your dirty work. You didn't know Sapadal would attack you. Why not wait and see? Wait, Sapadal could destroy all of Eora? What do you mean? Immediately felt threatened by a god you couldn't control. You didn't know Sapadal would attack you. Why not wait and see?
Chaos is a blight. It must be scourged before it spreads. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with.
Then the godless, you ordered the make folk to kill them too. So you are why we know nothing about them. You ordered the make folk to kill them too.
Of course I did.
Uh-huh.
The poor godless, worshipping the very thing that subsumed them. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it.
You massacred them. Why did it have to come to this? You could have found a way to contain somebody without senseless death. Their worship challenged your authority. You were never going to let them live. Yeah,
You dare claim the domain of the gods is trivial?
it is kinda. You defended your crown, callous but expected of a queen. Touched a sore spot, did I? Never mind, I'm not going to convince you of anything. You defended your crown, callous but expected of a queen.
True leaders make choices when others would turn away.
Why does our prison not protect us? Help us! Silence her!
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense.
I mean, it's a baby,
Aedyr
basically.
is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy.
Sapadal is lashing out because of Aedyr. Can't you see that? It's not your order. That doesn't mean it's anarchy. Whatever the answer is, the living lands can't go on like this. I've seen what Sapadal is capable of. It concerns me too. It's not your order. That it's not your order. That doesn't mean it's anarchy.
I
Yeah.
refuse to even dignify that with a response. But there is still time. You can succeed where Ludwig failed.
I killed her.
Face your false god and end its reign of terror permanently.
How? I can't kill a god. I can't do this to Sapadal. They deserve a second chance. Get out of the garden now. I'll never work with you. I don't want to do this for the world is at stake. Someone should have finished what you started long ago. Get out of the garden now. Now I'll never work with you.
Very well. I cannot force a child to bend to my will. But I will not stand by and watch you undo my work.
Uh-huh.
You should have thought more carefully before you broke your oath to the Empire. Let this be a lesson to you.
Gonna wake this thing up.
Understood Wodika's appeal. Still don't.
I never thought I'd learn of the Godless's fate from their killer.
Yeah. Just skeletons. They make very loud noises, but in the end, just skeletons. Okay, save the game here. And when we return, we'll continue. I didn't expect there to be so much of the garden, but I'm happy about it.